Hello everybody. What comes in a box of diapers and is going to make our car look 100 times better? Okay, maybe not 100, maybe 10, maybe twice as good. Find out on this episode of Throttle Grotto. Alright everybody, welcome back. So maybe it didn't come in a box of diapers, but it came in a box that diapers came in. I didn't mean to make it sound like it came like a Cracker Jack prize, or like the toy you get in the cereal box where you open up your box of diapers and there's a present in there that's not poo. So anyway, super excited about this. The packing job is abysmal at best, but it appears that it showed up without being damaged. So without further ado, let's open it up and see what it is. So before I get into this and show you guys what is in the box, talk a little bit about what we're going to get done today. We are going to transform the front end of this $350 car, which looks like a hot mess of garbage or something you'd find in a diaper, into at least something that doesn't look as diaperish. I have to fix this camber issue today. It's driving me friggin' bananas. So I probably should be pointing at a tire with a sharp knife. Just, it's like bad karma. Like, point at it with a sharp knife and it gets a flat. So I need to figure out what's going on with this stupid front wheel and why it's not lining up the way it should. I have my suspicions, but I have a few parts on the way. Those should be here later today, but we've got plenty of stuff to get done in the meantime. So I'm going to get the front end transformed today. I'm going to figure out what is going on with this front suspension, and hopefully I'll have a little bit of time to get into the rear brakes and get the rear discs put on today. So that is all coming up on this episode. Alright everybody, it is time to figure out what is in the box of diapers. So this is about the worst packing job I've ever seen. No, I take that back. I had a guy ship me a door for a Rabbit once, and he literally taped a piece of cardboard to the front of it, and it showed up and it looked like it had been dragged through a parking lot behind the bus. So that was the worst packing job. So there we go, look at this. So I'm super excited about this, and I'll tell you why. Because A, it's going to make this car look a lot more sporty. I've never really been a fan of the rectangle, the arrow headlights is what I guess is what they call them. On some cars they look great. Don't get me wrong. I really like the way some cars look with arrows, but not this one. So this is a complete GTI front end from a 92 GTI I found in a wrecking yard in Oregon, and had the whole front end shipped up here. I got the grill, I got the core support, basically everything we need to make this front end bolt on. And it's not a very difficult job, but I have been after, well, let's just say I've been playing in Volkswagens since I think I got my 85 GTI I got in 90 or 91, and so the whole time I've been playing with Mark 1s and Mark 2s, I've never had a 4-round headlight setup. So I'm kind of excited. It's like the first time I've been able to get one of these and actually have it on a car. And so cool thing about this is it came with sort of broken headlights, which I'm not too worried about. Replacement headlights are not very expensive online. They are kind of cool because they're the crosshairs. So I'm probably just going to run these because it's, you know, we're not going to be too we're not going to be driving this all the time, and but we've got a whole grill Looks like it's got smoked headlights in it to match the outers. Looks like it needs a little bit of hardware repairs here and there, but it's got the lower grille. It's basically a complete setup from a GTI. So there we go. So one of the benefits of buying this stuff used is I got the whole thing for 150 bucks shipped, which everything I was finding online was like the grills are 140, 150 bucks. The core support was going to be $125 shipped. So that would have, I was looking at about 300 bucks for everything, and this is what I wanted for the front. I've got a small bumper to put on it. I've got the lower apron to put on it with the lower spoiler. So I've got everything I need. Now it's just time to make it happen. I really did not expect that that was all that was holding on this front bumper. All right, so I'm going to switch out the bracket, and and then we'll keep moving along. So now all we have to do is remove this center section, which just unbolts with a bunch of 10mm bolts, and then this whole center section will come out. So if you're doing an engine swap, at this point you could pull the radiator out and walk the motor. Once you undo everything, walk the motor right out of the front of the car. So compared to a Rabbit, it's a lot easier. So the first part of putting on the small bumpers is putting on this lower valance, and all the stuff's there already to bolt it on. You just have to kind of line everything up and install it. I need to go gather up a bunch of hardware to put all the stuff along the bottom on. So I'll do that, and then I'll wrap up this bottom section. Okay, so the lower valance is on, and I really think that this helps somehow with stiffening the whole lower part of the front end of this car. I know there's a big beam here that goes across that probably does most of it, but having everything tied in on the lower part of the subframe or core support, or however you want to refer to this, I really think in some small way probably helps, like, stiffen up the front end of the car, at least keep stuff from rattling around too much. So let's put this core support on, and I see an issue with it already, so let's do it. So hopefully you've seen the issue. If you haven't already, I will point it out. Someone cut up the lower part of this core support. I don't know why, but it's not a big deal. I have the spare piece from the Aero core support, which is basically scrap metal at this point. I can cut it off and just weld the other piece on there, and it'll be just fine. So that's my next project. Hey everybody, welcome back. So I didn't get a lot of filming done today, mostly production, just getting some stuff done around the shop. I really needed to spend some time cleaning up, even though it doesn't look like it. I spent probably a couple hours just cleaning up and putting tools away and organizing stuff. It was bad, it just needed to be done. So I didn't film that. The front end's back together. I had some issues with the bumper lining up, and I just turned off the camera and worked on it for a while. I think this bumper support may be tweaked a little bit, and I don't know, but it took well longer than it should have to get the bumper lined up. But it's on. I still need to pull it off and put the little buttons on that hold the sides of the bumper in place. And I'm probably going to have to do some sort of bolts on the skin to hold the skin onto the bumper frame, because all of the little retainer clips are broken. So, which is okay, because I'm going to make a light bar mount for the front of this anyway, so they'll have to run bolts through it regardless. But good news, the front end is on. It looks great. Let me show you here. So everything is all on with the small bumper, the lower valance, everything fits like it should have. I'm probably going to have to buy new headlights. I was doing some research last night, and either I turn these into HIDs with projectors and all that kind of stuff, or just buy a new set of headlights, and I might just end up doing that anyway. These look good, but so do the regular H4s. Another piece of good news is, look at the camber. That is fixed. How did I fix it? A couple people commented in the last video about how the spindle might be bent, and sure enough, the spindle was bent. Like, really bent. In fact, I'll put a picture of it in here so you guys can see exactly how bent that spindle was. Somebody hit something hard with that thing. So I bought a bum spindle, but I got another spindle, put it on, bolted right up just like it should have, like no problems. So that's awesome. That's fixed. So the other thing is that I did today, I will show you. Okay, so I have had this exhaust tip laying around for like 10 years. And it's a really nice exhaust tip. It's a Remus. I got it off of a muffler that was for an Audi, and it's been like literally sitting on the shelf for 10 years. But I figured this would be a good project to use it on, because it's probably going to be obnoxious and it might actually sound pretty good. So what I did was I made it fit. I'm actually kind of proud of this. It's kind of had to go out of the box. You can see here I had to make it go from a 2 1/4 outside diameter to, I think this was like 3 inch. I also had to offset it, so it I'm not going to get any calls from like Discovery Channel or anything like that wanting me to come fab stuff for guys on TV. But it was one of those things that I was kind of faced with the challenge and see if I could make it work, and I had some stuff laying around, and so I got it to work, and I'm actually going to go slide it into the exhaust. I still need to go buy a clamp to make this, to mount this, but I had to do a whole bunch of like pie cuts and like piece stuff together to make it work, because well, you can kind of see how the angle had to be there. So it was kind of neat to see that come together, and I spent most of the afternoon working on it. I probably could have filmed it, but I didn't. And if you're wondering, there used to be a piece of tape here that was like, it said Remus exhaust on it all the way around it, which was kind of cool, but it fell off probably a couple of years ago. But it'll be, it'll make the back end of the car look a little bit nicer, probably too nice actually. But enough jabbering. I'm going to go slide this on and fire it up and see how it sounds. So actually, wasn't too loud at all. I'm really happy with how that turned out. I'm glad I kept it around in my box of stuff for 10 years. And I was able to get the, for those of you that are like wondering, it's like it sits right in, tucked in right by the bumper like it should. It needs to sit up like that, but that'll happen once I clamp it. But overall, that was a success. So now I have brakes on here. I have the front end done. The exhaust is done. Still a lot of stuff to do, but we are making progress on this car. So that's all the time I have for this week. Until next week, thanks so much for watching. And until then, get out there and work on something.